All right. So I give you the point of the Monday morning meeting is to help you start to organize on a more regular basis and to be very targeted and intentional about what you want to achieve each week, right? So I've given you a worksheet. You feel free to use that worksheet. I use a sheet of paper, and then I plant things into my calendar. And so, for example, I've got given you the worksheet. You've already seen it. I'm going to ask you to try one other method because sometimes a straightforward method doesn't work for everybody. Um, Sometimes the worksheet doesn't, but sometimes it does. And it just depends on how you manage your day. I manage better my progress from, I use a combination of list and my calendar. So, for example, we went through the worksheet part already. So now I'm going to take you quickly through a list. So let's say grab a blank sheet of paper and then write down all of the things you have to do just in general. So just have at it, start anywhere. And we're just going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to see how many things you can get down. Does that make sense?
Got it.
All right. So it's 9:19 right now. So we're going to stop at 9:21, 9:22. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can go ahead. And I'm going to be doing the same exercise with you, by the way. And don't worry about also when these things have to be done. Just write them all down. Stick flood your mind. I don't know about you. I'm at like 12 or 13 things already that I've got to do. Just random thoughts, right? Everything you just gotta, things that cross your mind that you just gotta get done. Okay, how you doing?
Good. I think we're done.
You
Time
got
is
more
up.
stuff? You got more stuff coming to mind? Can you keep
Yeah.
flowing?
Yes.
Keep flowing with it.
Oh
Keep
God.
flowing with it. Because then you can, it'll make you feel some relief to a large degree. You just flow and it just spills all over the place. Still flowing?
Okay. I'm done. I quit.
Still flowing?
It is, but I need to just stop because I feel like it's just now it's becoming overwhelming looking at the damn list.
That's okay. Because then think of this. This is how productive you're going to be in the next week, maybe 2 weeks. And you get all this done, how will you feel?
Oh my God, if I get all this done.
Not if, you're going to get it all done.
No, when? When?
Yeah. So how are you going to feel when you get it all done?
Uh, I'm gonna feel amazing.
So you want to focus on that, right?
Okay.
Because now we're getting ready to make it palatable so that it can get done, right? So next thing, I'm going to look at that list and then I'm going to decide. Some of these things got to be grouped. Probably if you did what I did, I had a bunch of random thoughts. And then some of these things have to be grouped together before I can execute them. So for example, I have pay taxes. I have a piece of real estate that I need to go pay taxes on. But I can't. So, and then, but I also, they only take cash. I can't walk in there and just pay the taxes. They have to take cash or cashier's check, which requires that I have to go to the bank. So I'm going to take pay taxes and go to the bank and put those together because one can't happen without the other. Even though the pay taxes is the end result, I can't do that until I go to the bank. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of look at your list and see if you were able to group a couple of them like that. Did you have things? Let me give you one other example. I have uh, practice for skill path teach back. Or no, I'm sorry, deliver my skill path teach back. But I can't do that without my practicing the delivery of it. There's a specific date around that. I have to deliver it by the 12th. By the 13th, which is tomorrow. So in order for me to practice, that means that when do I have to do the practice?
Today.
Today. So if I put the delivery on my calendar for tomorrow, because it starts at 8 o'clock, then that means sometime today I've got to have time to deliver that. So what does that mean for me in terms of my planning? I've got to look at my calendar, right,
Mm-hmm.
for today and figure out when I can put that in there. And so that'll automatically be one of the things I have to achieve today.
Okay.
All right. I'll give you I mean, you get the gist of it. Some
So,
stuff is going to have dates assigned to it
okay.
automatically that came to your mind. So if we actually, so we could do two things. We could group your big headings. So for example, like I said, pay taxes is my big thing. Pay,
When you say big thing, that means need to be done right now.
no, meaning that if I look at my list, so okay, so let me start over. The first thing on my list, it says pay taxes for property. But as I made my list, I also noticed that I wrote down here, go to the credit union to get the money for the taxes. Those are two different tasks, right? But I can't execute one without the other.
So things that are grouped together that,
So I'm going to group them. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah.
The second example I used for you was I have to do a class for another company. That class is scheduled to be delivered tomorrow morning. So I say teach for Skill Path on Tuesday.
So we're
However,
going
I've
based,
got,
so
okay, go
we're
ahead.
grouping. Let me make sure we got it right. Grouping things that go together. That's one column. The second thing is on that you're establishing a timeline based on those things in those groupings.
Correct. And that's why I was giving you the illustration.
I'm sorry.
So well, for the grouping, Skill Path, I would group it, and practice, I would group it because I put them on as two different tasks. I can group them, but what's going to drive the timeline on those is the fact that it has to be delivered by tomorrow. So sometimes when you group stuff, you're going to find that it's going to make all the perfect sense in the world. I grouped it. Oh, shoot. When I got to do it tomorrow because of that. For example, pay taxes, my timeline that I have to pay those taxes is at the end of August. But when I group my other task with it, then that means that, my timeline is at the end of August. I can put those other tasks sort of anywhere. The other one, because the timeline, the delivery is tomorrow, it helps me. So, because what that's going to do, that timeline is going to help you drive the focus on what you got to do this week, what you can put off next week, etc., and still plan the pieces. So let's do this. Let's group it real quick. Take a few minutes. It's 9:31. We're just going to do it for like a minute or two and group.
Wait, okay, hold on. You write your list like this. So you gotta group it by putting like 1, 2, and 3 over here by it. Or
Group
do
it
I gotta
by,
rewrite it?
well, you can kind of look at can you kind of look at it and see what you got, what goes together?
Yeah.
If you rewrite it, that's fine. But I'm just trying to, again, this is just carving out the time to give you a second method.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to show you how you could do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and group those together.
I think I'm gonna do it instead of rewriting it, it's group them by letter. This is group A, this is group
However,
B.
whatever makes sense for you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you've got some things grouped.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with those things grouped, now let's look at your calendar. Now you could use that worksheet that I gave you and then say, oh, okay, some of those things will be driven by specific days. It's got to be done. It might be this week. It might be next week.
Some of the things that I put on this list are already on this weekly focus.
Okay. So that's one of the ways you can come up and decide, okay, I've got these groups of, I've got all this stuff to do. I've got them in groups, so I know they got to be done in chunks, certain things. And do I have time to execute that chunk this week? Let me look at my calendar and my worksheet and say, oh, okay, I can make it my focus this week.
So the tools that you use is your list, the worksheet, and your calendar.
So for me, I just use the list and my calendar because I'm better at looking back at my calendar. I will take these things now based on, and I do it, I just kind of do the worksheet mentally. When I open my calendar,
it must be nice.
And I look at my list and I see the groupings, I know how much of that I can get because my calendar already has a lot of stuff on it. So I might be able to say, oh, I've got these quick 4 tasks that are not they don't have a date with them. So I can stick them based on my calendar, which already has set meetings. I can stick these 4 or 5 things right between meeting this morning and meeting this afternoon. Right. And so I can go in my calendar and put them in there really quickly. That I know that when that meeting ends, I immediately need to execute those little 4 things before my next meeting begins. So that works for me because my calendar is already crowded. But if there are things, for example, that I know are going to take longer, I have to do a boat training on safety. I can't do that in the middle of the week. I know because I know that that's going to require, I've got to drive to the location. It's probably going to require 4 hours of time. So I can't put that in my focus this week. I could put the phone call to make the arrangements on my focus this week. But I'm going to have to put the boat training. I'm going to have to look in the future in my calendar within the month and find a day that works with them that I can line up and steal a whole 6-hour day. And then I'm going to put it there. But the thing is, I've scheduled it so it can come off my list.
Got it.
So I've chopped down my list simply by assigning everything on my list to time where it can be executed. Does that make sense?
You chopped up the items on your list in time so that you can execute it in time chunks.
So for me, let me back that up. Let me say it again. I've already cut down my anxiety overall from that long list because there are things on my list now that I've got it and I can look at my calendar and I've scheduled it in. I can count it as done, really. Because all I'm going to do now for the next 30 days or so is open my calendar. I don't have to think about it. I'm just going to look at what's scheduled and follow it. And then I'm checking off everything on my calendar.
Now that I will say this, grouping it did bring the anxiety level down because it's not all over the place. I have, okay, this is passionate pampering. I did one was passion pampering, one was personal, one was travel, one was a household, one was what was it? Situations with my mom.
Okay.
So I just making that it did make it a lot more palatable and not as stressful. You're right. And then once I group them, and then I can put them in my calendar or using my weekly focus. I
Correct.
think it brings down the anxiety. It brought down the anxiety just gathering and organizing, because I've made lists before and I've tried to put business, personal, and then miscellaneous. And my miscellaneous list is always like all over the map,
But there
which
is no miscellaneous. That's the thing. So that's back to that gray area. There's no such thing as miscellaneous.
okay.
Those things are on your list. That means you need to get them done. When you assign them to miscellaneous, that says they don't have to be done. The other part is you haven't assigned it to a space where it's important enough to get done. When you put it in that calendar, assign it a space. It may be miscellaneous in the fact that it doesn't have to be done right now. For example, I gave you the tax thing that I have to pay. It doesn't have to be done today. It can be done by end of August, but I want to get it done within 7 to 8 days. So I'm going to put it on there. Otherwise, it becomes miscellaneous, kind of, until it's something that it's important that we forget, and then it's not so miscellaneous anymore. So just assigning yourself a time in your calendar to get it done makes all the difference in the world.
You're right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wake up every morning and I usually either check my email or my calendar. Now, it has
And
become a habit.
that will bring down your anxiety. And not only that, there are other things that will come up for sure. And that's fine. But if they come up and you go, oh, that's real quick, you can, because everything is in your calendar that you're going to focus on. You got one or two choices. You can add it to a list, to that ongoing list, and scratch it off. The other thing is, when you put the things on the calendar that were on your list, you can almost scratch off the list because it's scheduled.
So the list is just getting it out of here, putting it down. And once you get it down on the paper, then you not organize it, but then by organizing it, you're putting it on your calendar. So it's out of here and you're not missing anything. It's like a visual.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it becomes your checklist. And the probability of getting it done raises significantly because you have dedicated some time to it. You've put it in your calendar that says you're gonna do it. Not that everybody got lists running around the house. But if it's not on the calendar, it's not gonna get done. And so again, when somebody hands you something else, then you'll get in the habit like I do. I just pull out my calendar and put it in there most of the time.
Or prime example, I was very proud of myself because I had the opportunity for a job to do a fruit display at an event, and she gave me the date, and I was in the car talking to her. I said, hold on 1 second, because in the past I'm like, oh, that's great, yep, that works. And I said, hold on 1 second, let me check my calendar. And I'm glad that I did, because it was a conflict. And I was about to say, yeah, I can do it, thinking to myself, this is an opportunity to create some income. This is an opportunity to me do something I love that can connect to something else that can make me some more opportunities. And I was so excited about that the excitement almost overcame me and I almost made a huge mistake. Now, also, since I wasn't able to do that, I think I did a good business decision was to keep the connection with the person. I even offered her, because of not being available, I offered her at least a 10% discount on her next event, so she'll think about me to use me.
Okay, and that's a good. Here's the other thing though. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by giving away. This is a coaching thing on your business thing. You just not. So I think what you did was right. Absolutely. For this exercise, it was excellent the way you handled it, because you can look at it and say, I am booked. I am so sorry. I'm not going to be able to do. If I have a cancellation, I'll let you know.
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I said.
But that doesn't obligate you to give away any money. And you gave away 10%. Don't do that.
Okay.
Being booked is a perception that you want your clients to have. Why?
That means you are good and you are in demand, and there's
Right.
like,
And
okay,
you're taking away, and you're giving away money, and you're taking away from the perception.
okay,
She's busy. That means I can't be playing. If she have an opening, she call me, I got to jump on it.
okay.
The other thing is you may not be able to do it. Can you do it one day ahead of time? Will it keep? Does it depend on the kind of fruit she uses?
Can I do what a day ahead of time?
What's she asking you to do? A fruit arrangement?
A fruit display,
Correct.
an actual large display.
Okay. So can some fruit stay out longer than other? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not a fruit expert.
Fruit displays, no, they need to be created the night before and executed the next day, because after a while they tend to dry out.
Okay.
And
So you
and
only have
it wasn't something I could make and then hand to her and she put it in the refrigerator and put it out. It
that's what I
wasn't
mean.
one of those. No.
Right. So, but are there fruits that could do that? I don't know.
I don't know. I know if I was to do like a cheese or a charcuterie tray, that will keep. But I don't know about fruit. I have to do some research on that.
Did
I
you
don't
offer
think.
an option on that?
Hmm?
Did you offer her another option?
No, I did not.
Okay. Another upsell or possibly save upsell. This is becoming too. So we kind of switched the focus a little bit.
Sorry.
We had to come back. That's okay. But you understand, you see those two things. So you could say, "Oh, I'm not able to do a fruit tray because we don't want to have it out more than 8 hours or something like that." There are some options. I could do a cheese tray because you can refrigerate that, or charcuterie tray because you do this. You can think about those and let me know as soon as possible, because you can see my calendar is filling up. That way she may say, "Oh,
Didn't even think of that. Okay. But
right.
even so, I agree, but it was right in the smack dab in the middle of our trip. And I
Oh,
think
no, that's okay. No, I'm not saying
okay,
that you should have done it. I'm trying to arm you with some other things so that you don't actually shoo business away that's not necessary to shoo away.
got it.
Okay. All right. So back to the focus of this call. This
Sorry.
call is just to do this. It's not to do anything else except carve out the time with you all to get you in the habit of doing this. So we are technically done. What you need to do is finish. And so actually what I want you to do before we actually hang up is, what of the 5 things, because we're going to pick one a day. Now, if you can get more done, that's fine. But we only want to, we don't overwhelm you. What off your list will you pick for Monday? What Tuesday? What Wednesday? What Thursday? What Friday?
Monday I had
Schedule them. Now, either you got to carry that piece of paper around or you schedule them into your calendar, because I don't want to put both. I put them in my calendar.
Me too. I'm gonna put it in my calendar because I'm not
Okay.
gonna carry this around.
All right. So on Monday,
Passionate Pampering product shots and about info update.
okay, so that's what the meaning today. Those are the things you're gonna focus on achieving today. Okay.
Mm-hmm. On Tuesday, I'm purchasing the scents and oils for my product shop, for my products.
Okay.
On Wednesday, I have practice fruit display technique. I purchased some tools that I haven't used yet. So I wanted to get some fruit, watch the tutorial, and kind of practice.
Okay. Let me stop you there because I want to go back and ask you some questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's start with Wednesday. Wednesday, tell me what time did you put that on your calendar for Wednesday?
I didn't put the time, but I have it in my calendar online. I have it online calendar every day.
Okay.
To practice, and I haven't executed it yet.
Okay.
And I was trying to say, if I just put it on the weekly focus, and hopefully I'll be.
But if you put it on the weekly focus and you haven't put it in your calendar, when are you going to get it done that day? Don't you have other things on your calendar?
Yes, I do.
Let's look at your, see, this is the point of increasing the probability of execution.
Okay. All right.
So you have, what does your calendar currently look like for Wednesday?
For Wednesday. I have in the early morning trading, workout, prayer, meditation, passionate pampering from 1 to 3. My fearless coaching is in between there, the group coaching. So I gotta change that. That's a conflict.
So when you say, yeah, so where, now what was the task again?
Work on fruit display ideas and practice. That's at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, from 4 to 5.
All right, so you've got it in there. You can do it at 4 to 5, considering the other things you already have scheduled. All right,
Yep.
put it in there then. We're good?
I got it in there on Wednesday.
All right, so now does your Wednesday calendar look like it's still able to be executed?
Yes.
It doesn't look overwhelming.
No, because I
Okay.
got space in between.
Okay. And so life is going to happen in between.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I happen to know that you also do a talk show on Wednesdays. Is that scheduled?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you've got time to prep and do everything, you know what I mean? So like if you have to prep for that talk show, if you're doing your practice from 4 to 5, then you would probably prep it for that talk show. I don't know, somewhere in there between 5 and 7.
So maybe I'll bring my practice up to 3 to 4. That'll give me more time
I
in
mean,
between if I eat something. So I'm gonna move that one up.
you see what I mean? You got to make it so that it's a winning situation.
Okay.
Because do you need 30 minutes to prep? Do you need an hour to prep? I don't know.
I usually do between 30 45 minutes for prep for Elisa and Rashida. Sometimes it depends on the topic. If I've already kind of.
So you carve it out. 6 to 7 is your prep time then, probably.
Okay.
Because you're doing setup and prep. So that probably should be included in that block.
I'm putting it right there.
Because you don't ever want to schedule something to conflict there. And then also so do you have other things on Wednesday that you no longer do, or your calendar's fine? Because you got to take old stuff out too. That's part of killing the anxiety too. You look at that and you go, because you could be putting other stuff in there. If it's just taking up space. Don't know.
I'm also going to change the time for my time block for passionate pampering. I time blocked specific times specifically for passionate pampering, whatever that entails.
Okay, so that's another approach. You can time block it that way. If you have time block for passionate pampering, that's great. Now, so then if you have lists on your task on your list, then you have that block of time to dedicate to everything that's on your list that goes with passionate pampering. But I would not just say passionate pampering. I would keep that block, but I would put those little tasks in there too, right beside it, or within that block of time. Because again, you open in passionate pampering was like, but what's the focus?
All right, so Trying to see, I'm looking on the calendar where I could put those small, under the description, it says add description. So I can just,
or not. So let me do it like this. Let's say you have 3 things that fall within that passionate pampering time block. Go in there because you can see the time block that says passionate pampering, right? Is blocked out. Don't mess with that, but put the 4 things right beside it. Just overbook them so that they show up. So you don't have to actually open that block. Make them the same color and have them list within that block of time so that they look parallel. They're next to each other. Does that make sense?
okay, yeah.
Then you've broken that block up, but you know it goes together. Because otherwise you'll have to open that every week when you change all your tasks for passionate pampering, because you won't be doing the same task called time in that block. You have to open that and change it every week. You don't want to do that. That's a time stealer.
So let me make sure I got this correct. So instead of instead of adding it to the actual time block, what I do is within that time frame, just add tasks at that same time, and it'll pop up the same color. So, okay.
At the same time. So you know that that's the stuff that goes in there. Make it the same color, whatever. But it should, the first block should be at the top of when that passion pampering block is, and the last block should be at the bottom. So you could put 12 tasks in there. It doesn't matter. Just put them all in there so that they put side by side. And that way too, time, you're going to know I spent 10 minutes doing this, 5 minutes doing that, 12 minutes doing that. Because at some point in business, you need to know where you spend your time, right?
Right.
You can't just say, I spend it on passionate pampering as a block. That's not how it works.
Okay.
Does that make sense visually?
Yep, I'm trying to do at least one of them right here while I'm on the phone with you.
That's fine.
To see.
If you would like to share your screen and do it, and then
okay,
that's fine too.
All right, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so I have it here.
Right.
I'm
Very
trying
good.
to can I change? Do the time matter?
Well, again, if you want to know what product shots took you an hour of that 2-hour block, that's important later, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't schedule anything past 1:30.
Yeah.
Because everything that's the time you blocked out. If that means you only get 2 things done that day, that's what it is.
Okay.
If it takes you a whole hour to do it, because sometimes it's going to take the whole hour. Depends on the task.
And sometimes it might take the whole 2 hours.
Correct.
Okay.
As long as
I know for a fact
that
okay.
It's connected to passionate pampering, then it's fine.
I can't. Okay.
What's the title of 12:30 to 1:30?
That's what I was trying to do. And it's not that long.
Whatever that task is. Okay. And again, you can now if you wanted to, if that makes you overwhelmed in terms of visual, what you could do is change. What are you doing?
Oh shit, that's wrong.
Yeah, you just changed your working block.
Yeah, I did.
Working block starts at 11:30.
Yeah, I did that wrong. Wait. So
can,
12:30 to 1. That's what I should do.
and can I suggest that you make, before you put that color in there, make that one, yeah, go ahead.
Say 12:30 to 12:45. It's gonna only take about 15 minutes to do that.
All right, see where it says color on that one?
This
Make
one?
that a
Oh, wait.
lighter, make it a lighter green.
This one? Where this one?
Yes. Or yeah, there's a different green. There's a different green.
I don't see a different green. This one? Yeah.
Or red. That's green too. That's fine. And I'll show you why in a second. Go ahead and save it. All right.
Ah,
See? So
yes.
go within that time frame.
Okay.
So go ahead to the product shots and make that one that color green. So the block of time is dedicated to passionate pampering. Every day, every other, whatever day, whatever, however you got it. But then put your tasks for that block of time so that you'll know later. They'll say, well, how much time do you, if you go, down the line, somebody asks you about your numbers, well, how much time does it take to do this, to do a Photoshop? How much time does it take to purchase prices? I mean, you may get to the point where you have a purchasing manager. And how much time do you need? Do they 50% of their job purchasing because it only takes 20 minutes, 3 times a month to do that? Or do they need a whole 40 hours a week? Well, if you're doing the job and you can go back and look at your time blocks and go, on the average, I purchase once a month, it takes 15 minutes. So that person can be 20% of that. And then it could be 20% of something else. You could put a job description together, or the time, your return on time and value, how much you're spending. Because at the end of the day, when it's in business, it all comes down to what are you spending and what's your return on investment. You'll be able to break all that down if you do it that way.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. Well, okay, so like I just did, bro. I put those things on Wednesday, but that wasn't what I had on Wednesday.
Okay.
Product shots is on Monday. Shit.
Okay. But well, wait. Do you have time? Now you already decided your schedule. So on Monday, do you have a passionate pampering time? Go look at your Monday calendar. This is why I want you to do it this way, so you can coordinate.
Yes.
All right, so you can move it there. Unless you also find out eventually you don't need a 2 passionate pamper times. I don't know. But right now you do. So just move that to Monday. That's what you want to do. You can drag it or just change the date.
I thought I could drag it, but drag it where? Like, only makes me go drag it.
Okay, so just open it and change the date on it.
Yeah.
Or so here's the funny thing. Product shots. Do you have all the labels? Do you have the light kits? Do you have all of that stuff set up?
No. That's not what I meant by product shots. That's not what I meant.
All right. So that's me breaking down tasks. All right. So you know what you mean. Go for it. And the example of that is if you had to do labels, you had to do jars, you had to do this, you had to do that, then it may go over 2 days. Because part 1 might be printing labels. Monday, you might be printing the labels. Tuesday, you might be setting up the light kit. Wednesday, you might be, it could go on for 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely.
Does this all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Actually, that helps me a lot more with this, using the calendar more so that it benefits me versus me just like, I hate this. I have these things here that I'm not doing. I see them every day and I go, oh, I didn't do it. But I do prayer and meditation. I don't get up and do the workouts like I used to, but that was on my list. I said, you have got to get back. I have to put workout on my calendar.
What about the trading? Is that realistic?
Not right now.
Okay.
I can't focus on that right now.
So you don't want it to go away?
Right.
Okay.
I don't want to
So
be out of sight, out of mind, because when I have some open
Right.
spots, even though I have it for a step, that's the actual group where we meet together
so you
at
could
that
go
time.
in and so you could jump in and out of that group if you wanted to.
Correct. And I think
Except,
if I,
well, what about your workout group though? Isn't that set too?
um, and that's on pause right now. So I'm trying to figure out, should I continue it and just do it on my own at the same slot? This was the routine. You just now got to do it on your own. And I
That's
haven't.
fine.
I've been
But then how does that allow you to ever participate in the family trading?
training family trading. It's usually no more than 30 minutes. It sometimes can go on for an hour, sometimes it can go on for an hour and a half. But what you can get in there is you get in there, if you people ask questions, this and the other. But I get up and I prepare, I get dressed to work out. But then I go to the family Zoom meeting and the family trading meeting, and then I will, if I have a question about something, I will pose it at the very beginning of the class and get my answer, the stuff that I need. And then what time I have left before the workout, I'll gather some insight, and then I'm out. So I
Okay.
have the option of going in and out of that.
Okay. As long as it's manageable, because looking at it, it doesn't look manageable. It looks like you have to sacrifice one for the other. Which,
So
you
that
know, again, core value stuff, right? If we're sacrificing things and not getting done what we want, and then we look at back and say we're unhappy about it, then it's not so great. But if you
let's
can
go
get them
eight.
done, then that's fine. Because I understand, I have a couple of things in my calendar that I don't want to drop off, so I made them yellow. Meaning I ain't got to pay attention to it right now, but I don't want to lose sight of it. And I do know I have the option to drop in.
Ah, that's a good tool. Yeah.
Okay. So you can, so again, Mondays is not supposed to be a long training thing. This is a
Okay.
let's get together, let's plan our calendars. We're supporting each other planning the calendars. You
Work.
come on, you go through the process. I'm on, I'm going through the process. Whoever's on in the group is going through the process. We're not usually having all of this conversation.
Got it.
I recorded this session so that I can show it to the other group folks. But going forward, the idea is log on, hold each other accountable, plan.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
You good? All right.
Yep.
I will see you later.
Yes.
Have
Bye
a good day.
bye. You too.
And per usual, I have to figure out how to get out of Zoom.